All right, going to talk about Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. Talk about what I think is the most important key for Quinn and for Quinn to do well in order for Texas to beat Georgia this upcoming weekend. Yesterday, we put out a video going over 5 keys for Quinn, and out of those 5 keys, I think there's one key that really stands out to me, and that key is the ability to move in the pocket awareness, pocket movement. And if it leads to scrambles and running, that's great. But I think the ability to move in the pocket and avoid some rush in the pocket, I think, is huge. So let's talk about Quinn real quick, and then we're going to look at maybe 5 or 6 clips of Quinn demonstrating the ability to do that. So from 2022 to 2023, I thought we saw a big improvement from Quinn as it relates to his athleticism. In 2023, he had 10-plus runs. He had 10 runs where he had 10-plus yards on those runs. We saw him scramble a bit more. We're going to look at some of that film from 2023 here in a second. And then from 2023 to 2024, at the beginning of the season, I thought we saw the same thing, especially against Michigan. We're going to showcase some clips with him moving in the pocket, throwing on the run, doing a really good job avoiding pressure, avoiding the pocket collapsing on him. I think once he injured that oblique in the following game after Michigan, which I think it was, I think we've seen some limited mobility after that. You know, you see some videos floating on the internet and watching the games where it's almost like a self-serving sack. He kind of just falls down in the pocket, and then he had that bum ankle against Kentucky, or he injured that ankle against Kentucky, and then he looked better against Texas A&M. Like, we saw him have that long scramble. His only run of more than 10 yards this season was actually that long run against Texas A&M, but then we saw him throwing the run as well. So the ability is there, and especially against a team like Georgia who sacked Quinn 7 times. Georgia has 30 sacks on the season, and we talked about this in our preview video about Georgia's defense, but Georgia has 30 sacks on the season. 7 of those sacks came against Quinn. They only blitzed Quinn 30% of his dropbacks, or 32%, something like that, and they were able to get a lot of pressure with 4. So I think the main key for Quinn, besides not turning over the football, that's obvious, besides like these obvious things, hey, you got to make accurate passes, you can't turn over the football, we get that, but I think the main key for Quinn is avoiding the pressure whenever it's not getting to him, but it's kind of chaotic around him, and throwing on the run. And if you can get some scrambles, that's great. But if not, I think the biggest key is just moving in the pocket, eyes downfield, and delivering the ball downfield. And we put out a video about Arch Manning and how Texas could potentially use Arch. We put that video out yesterday. And we talked about how Georgia has struggled against some mobile quarterbacks. Milroe, 117 yards on the ground. They lost to Bama. Lost to Ole Miss. Dart had 50 yards on the ground with the bum ankle, but he led Ole Miss in rushing. And then Georgia Tech. They beat Georgia Tech, but King still had 110 yards on the ground. So I'm not saying Quinn has to go out and run. I don't think that's the recipe to win at all. But moving in the pocket, avoiding the pass rush, and throwing the ball downfield while having some good pocket awareness, I think is key. So I know that it hasn't been a strength for him this year, with some self-serving sacks like we talked about, but I still think the ability is there. I think he's shown that improvement. I do think injuries have played a role in it. So if he can get back and play like he did against Michigan and against A&M as far as it relates to moving in the pocket and running, I think that's a huge key, and it's going to really help Texas be in a better position to potentially win the game against Georgia. And again, we've put out 3 videos of the Texas-Georgia game already, so if you're interested in checking those videos out, it's on the channel. We have a video about Arch. We have a video about Quinn, talking about 5 keys, and a video about Carson Beck as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and look at 6 or 7 clips of Quinn moving in the pocket. We got some Michigan clips. We have some clips of him last year showcasing his ability to move and run. So the ability is there. It's just now being able to hopefully do it if you are a Texas fan. So let's go ahead and watch some of these clips of Quinn. So we're going to check out the Michigan game from this season first. And this is broadcast footage, so I have to slow it down. I do apologize, but I think it does a good enough job getting the point across what we're trying to hammer home. That's the ability for Quinn to move in the pocket and have some good pocket awareness. So let's go ahead and check out this video. This is a touchdown to tight end Gunnar Helm. We're going to see him move in the pocket, step up, but stay behind the line of scrimmage, and deliver a nice ball for a touchdown. Again, the point of this video is not to say Quinn needs to run a lot or even needs to use his legs a ton. It's just being able to move in the pocket, avoid whenever it gets somewhat chaotic, and make some throws downfield. It's a nice job by Quinn. He has like 3 of these throws we're going to watch against Michigan. And again, I think this could really help Texas help the offense avoid any pressure. Like we said, Georgia got 7 sacks on Texas last time, and they only have 30 sacks the whole season. So a fourth of their sacks came against the Longhorns. Here's the first touchdown. It was called back, I think, because of holding. But we see Quinn's ability to roll out. Again, you can tell he looks a little more healthier. Even when he came back from the oblique injury, it still looked like there was some hesitation. Sometimes in the pocket, wasn't looking great as far as mobility goes. So I do think that played a big role. And you heard Herbstreit talk about this. Again, this is a nice throw, nice run. It got called back. But you heard Herbstreit talk about Quinn's a better athlete than given credit for. We're going to see some clips at the end of this video of him running from 2023 that does a good job demonstrating. All right, so this throw here, this is like picture perfect. This is what I envisioned for Quinn to win Georgia. Just being able to move a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Being able to move a little bit in the pocket. Nice throw downfield. Again, I think he's good throwing on the run. I really do. I really think the injury did hamper him a bit. So these are just 3 clips from Michigan. This is from 2024, showcasing the ability was still there. This was before he injured his oblique. So here's that first long run against the Aggies from this past weekend from Quinn. This, of course, got them in a good position. They were able to get their first touchdown on here. So he evades the pressure here, rolls out for a nice run. And again, we don't have to see runs like this. Obviously, it'd be great against Georgia if you can have a long run like this. Again, this was Quinn's only run this season, according to PFF, where it was longer than 10 yards. In 2023, he had 10 of these type of runs. Several games, he had 2 runs that were more than 10 yards down field. So again, I don't think you have to see this. This has to be the normal here. If you get it, great, but it's just demonstrating the ability is potentially there for Quinn. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, so here's a pass to Gunnar Helm. Escapes the pocket. They only bring 3. Again, and Michigan only blitz 30% of the time, so the majority of the time they're bringing 3 and 4 and able to get some pressure, or at least get in the face of Quinn. So just being able to escape, play with his little backer here, and then dump it off to Helm here. And I do think Texas offensive line is going to be much more improved this go-around against Georgia, just after already playing them for a game. But I think for Quinn's standpoint, man, you just don't want to take any sacks you don't need to. And every Texas fan has seen Quinn kind of have that like self-serving sack, if that's even a term, where he kind of gets sacked in the pocket by his own feet getting tangled up. So just avoiding that. This is 2023. This is a touchdown pass, throwing on the run. This quality is bad. I do apologize. But this is a touchdown pass, throwing on the run against Oklahoma, showing the ability to move in the pocket. We got 2 more clips we'll watch of Quinn. It's the touchdown run against Kansas, touchdown run against Baylor. This was like a 29-yard run. He escapes the pocket, shows some speed here. So just examples that there is some athleticism there. He is able to move when needed. Again, I don't think we need to have 20, 30-yard runs to beat Georgia. I say we, I mean Texas. But going back to like the beginning of the video or the beginning of these film breakdowns, having the throws like you did against Georgia, like those 3 throws, throwing on the run, moving in the pocket, but you're not looking to run, you're looking to throw, again, I think is key. So that's my thoughts on Quinn. Again, we put out a video over Quinn talking about 5 keys. We talked about, of course, avoiding disastrous turnovers. That was a key. We talked about completing some balls downfield. We talked about setting up your feet to throw in the pocket when there's no pressure. And then we spent time talking about his ability. Oops, what did I do there? Let's see. Okay, there we go. I apologize. We talked about his ability as not a runner, but his ability to move in the pocket when needed to. So I do think this is the most important part, or most important key for Quinn, is to move in the pocket, eyes downfield, and not to be a statue. Again, the ability is there. He showcased it. So hopefully his body and the health allows him to do that. But Texas fans, as always, I do want to hear from you. I encourage you to go back and check out some of the older videos we put out of Quinn of this week, of the 5 keys we talked about. Check out the video of Arch and let us know your thoughts. What do you think the most important key is for Quinn to win the game? Obviously, no turnovers. Like, that's easy. It's cliche. That goes without say. But as it relates to quarterback play, what do you think the most important part is? Do you think it is the ability to move a little bit? Do you think it's the ability to complete deep passes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if this kind of SEC QB content is up your alley. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.